From the phone in your pocket to the food in your fridge, we just expect the products we buy to be perfect every single time. But have you ever stopped to wonder how that actually happens? Well, it's not magic, it's a system. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret system that companies use to guarantee that perfection.
Seriously, think about it for a second. You can grab a can of your favorite soda in New York or London or Tokyo, and it's going to taste identical. How do they do that? That level of consistency across millions and millions of products is no accident. It's the result of an incredibly precise process that's designed to catch even the tiniest mistake.
So why go through all this trouble? Well, for a business, getting quality right isn't just a nice to have. It's literally a matter of survival. Because you know what? Getting it wrong is incredibly, incredibly expensive. And the costs here just snowball. I mean, one little mistake can mean you have to throw out an entire batch of product. That's just money down the drain. Then you're paying people to fix things that should have been made right the first time. But the biggest cost, the one that really stings, it's losing your customers' trust. If they get a bad product, you might lose them for good. So to stop all that from happening, companies rely on something called a quality management system, or QMS for short. The easiest way to think about it is like the central brain behind the whole quality operation. It's the one system that defines, tracks, and enforces all the rules. I really love this analogy. Just like your nervous system coordinates everything in your body, the QMS connects every single part of the production process. It makes sure that everyone, from the person receiving raw materials to the person shipping the final box, is working from the exact same playbook. So how does a QMS actually work? Well, it all starts with a simple but powerful idea. You have to replace vague words like good with precise, measurable definitions. And it does this using two key building blocks. Okay, so the first building block is called a test. And a test is really just a very specific question you ask about the product. Like, what is the exact caffeine level? Or what is the precise color shade? And the answer can't be wishy-washy. It has to be in a specific format, either a number or a very specific text value. And that leads us right to the next piece of the puzzle. You take all of those individual tests and you bundle them together into what's called a specification. You can think of it as the product's final exam. It's the complete checklist that a product has to pass with flying colors to be considered good. And here's what that looks like in the real world. For our soda, the specification might test for syrup concentration, color, and caffeine. But look how specific it is. The syrup has to be between 0.19 and 0.21%. The color has to be between these two specific shades. There's no gray area here. It's a clear pass or a clear fail. All right, so we have our super specific definitions locked in. Now it's time to head to the factory floor, where the product has to run a gauntlet of tests and checkpoints from start to finish. See, quality isn't just about a final inspection right at the end. Oh no, it starts the second the raw materials arrive at the door. They get tested. Then, as the product is actually being made, it gets tested at key points along the way. Once it's all finished, it gets another final check. And often, it gets tested one last time right before it's shipped out. It's just this constant process of checking and verifying. So after all that testing, what's the verdict? How does the system decide if a whole batch of product is good to go? Well, the QMS gives a very simple black and white decision: pass or fail. And here's the crucial part. If every single test result is within that allowed range we talked about, the batch passes. It's good to go. But if even one required test fails, just one, the entire batch is automatically put on hold. The system freezes it. It cannot be sold, it cannot be used until a person reviews it and figures out what to do. But here's the thing. Quality isn't always one size fits all. What if a particular customer has even stricter requirements than normal? Well, this is where a QMS gets really, really smart. It uses something called a preference profile to change the rules for different situations. Okay, check this out. A standard customer, they might be perfectly happy with the normal range for syrup concentration, but a premium customer might be paying more for a product with a much tighter, more precise concentration. They might even demand an extra purity test that other customers don't get. A preference profile handles all of this automatically. It's pretty cool. So the product has passed all its tests, it's ready to go, but how does a company actually prove to its customers that what they're getting is perfect? Well, they give them an official report card. This official document is called a Certificate of Analysis, or COA, and the best way to think of it is as the product's official passport. It shows everywhere the product has been, every test it passed, and the exact results it got. And for a lot of industries, like medicine or food, this document isn't just a nice to have, it's a legal requirement. So when you boil it all down, this whole system, the tests, the specs, the checkpoints, the COAs, it all serves one big goal. It's about building a process that is so tight, so controlled, that it reduces errors, guarantees consistency, and in the end just delivers a better product. And that, of course, leads to happier customers. Now, the system we've just looked at is incredibly powerful for catching mistakes as they happen. But the real future of quality, where all this is heading, is moving from reacting to problems to actually predicting them. Just imagine a system so smart that it can analyze data and predict a failure before a single ounce of product is even made. Now that is the next frontier.